Kal Kadosh, Boker Or, Masechet Menahot, Daf Yomi, Daf Pehei Amud Aleph 85a1. Says the Mishnah. And we are a few lines down in the Mishnah, 2, 4, 6, 7 lines down. Says the Mishnah, and Mevin, we're not going to be bringing the fine flour for the Mincha offering. Lomi beta zevalim, not from a field that needs fertilizer. Velomi beta shlachim, or not from a field that always needs a lot of irrigation. Velomi beta ilan, or not from a tree field, meaning a field that has tons of trees. Vimevina, if you do bring it from these types of fields, kasher, it's going to be kasher b'diavad. So Keitzad will say, how does he bring the best type of a flour? So he says, Nara Shana Rishona, you're going to plow the field the first year without planting it at all. You just plow the field. Shana Shniya, the second year, Zore'a Kodon LePesach Shivim Yom. You're going to have to plant 70 days before Passover. Before Pesach, 70 days you're going to come and you're going to plant the field. Vehi osa sole merubah, and it's going to make tons of nice flour. Keitzad bodek, how do you check it, right, to know if it's, like if it's actually bemet sifted properly? So he says, yeah, exactly, yeah, 100%. So he says, Hagizbar machnis yado letochan, right? The gizbar is going to come and put his hand inside of it. Allah ba'avak, if there's going to be avak, psulad shinapeh, right? It's still going to be pasul until you have to do it again. You're going to have to sift the flour again. Meaning, basically, we're checking how much do you have to sift the flour. So he comes and he says, if you put your hand inside and it's still like dust coming out, so you have to sift it again. V'mitliana, if there's all of a sudden tolaim, psula, it's always pusul. That's it. The entire thing is gone. Yeah, gone. Fine. Says the Gemara. Keitzad will say, how do you do it? You're going to plow the first year without planting. So the Gemara asks, what does that mean? Does it mean you're plowing the first year and the second year again you have to plow and then plant? Because you always plow before planting. But so that means, does the pshat is that the first year it's only plowing? That's what we brought down about the plowing the first, and you don't plant. And then the second year you're going to plow and then plant immediately. Or Dilma narashana rishona, and the shniya you plant without plowing it the second time around, the second year. So Tashema, we're going to try to bring a proof. Titania was going to the bright time of Yosef, says Yosef, Afchite karziim ukfar achim ilmale simuchol shem. If it was in fact that they were close to Jerusalem, hayumivim, they would actually bring it. Because they would only bring it from the sadot, which are mudramot, which means that they have to be to the south. Nunarot lekach, and that they were plowed for that. Shebehen chamaz zorachat, because therefore the sun is going to come up, right? Vezorachat umehen chamash shokat. And it's going to do the shkia as well, which means the sun always is going to be zorachat b'mizrach and shukah b'marav, correct? It always comes up in the east and goes down in the west, correct? That's how the sun. It's always like that, right? For example, let's say I don't have a compass and I want to know, right? I'm in an airport. Very simple. If I want to see sunrise, where did the sun just come up? If the sun came up in the direction that it just came up, that's the east, right? If it's at nighttime and the sun is setting, wherever it goes down, that's the west. That's all very simple. So he says, right? However, though, he says to do with the tzafon and darom, the north and the south, it all depends when it is in the year. On Nisan and Tishri, it's always going to come up in the middle, between the north and the south. That's the equator, the equinox, right? Where it's going to be in the equinox. Bimei Choref, though, when it's going to be in the winter time, it's always going to come up towards the south, right? And it's going to continue going up. That means it's going to be like southeast and going to go to the southwest when it's coming down. But in the summertime, it's going to be northeast and northwest. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it all depends on when it is, summer or winter. If it's going to be to the south or the north. Okay. So kites, he says it's going to be to the north, north. Okay, so kites, tzafon. That's how you remember it. Kite tzafon, right? Kite tzafon. Right, that's how you remember it. The kites in the summertime it's the north, so it's northeast to northwest, and in the winter time it's choref. So choref is darom. Okay, there's nothing there to remember, but okay, but at least kite tzafon you remember. Okay, yeah, fine. So he comes and he says like this. He says, yeah. So Keitzad say, so the first year you're going to plow. The second year you're going to plow again. V'zorah, now you're going to come and you're going to plant it before Pesach, 70 days, in order that it should be close to the sun. Right? And it's going to make the kaneh, the godel of a zeret, and the shibolet zratayim, meaning you have the how do you call this? The kanen and the shibolet. The shibolet is it's going to be something incredible. Usually, it's exact opposite, which means usually you have a lot of a stalk, the bottom part, and then the top part, which is the food, is very very small. Here it's going to be the exact opposite. The bottom part is going to be one zeret, and the other one is going to be two. Right? It's going to be the exact opposite. No? How does it say there, doctor? Like we just explained? Yeah, the ears and the stalk. No? How does it?
The air container canal to be twice the size.
Yeah, the stalk. So the stalk is usually the bottom empty part. So usually the bottom empty part is the 2/3, and the ears, which is the food, the kernels at the top, is 1/3. Here's gonna be the exact opposite. You're gonna have 2/3 of the food and 1/3 of the stalk. Okay. So he says, "V'kotzero me'amer v'dash v'zoreu boreh v'tocher meleket." You're doing all the melachot, right? Reaping, the gathering, the threshing, the winnowing, the separating, the grinding, the yeah, I don't know how you say meleket. Also, is another form of grinding, but right, or the sifting, right, of separating. So he says, "Umevi etzel gizbar." You're going to bring to the gizbar. Gizbar machnis yado l'tocho. He's going to pick up his hand. Im al tabavak omer lo chazor v'napesh. Do it again. He's going to put his hand in oil and he's going to put it up. Until it's going to come up, right? The avka. Ktani miyat, we did learn again. Again, it's choresh v'shoneh. Again, you're going to do it again. That means it comes out that you're going to plow again. So says the Gemara, velitamech, right? And according to your reasoning, matniti nuktani shoneh. We didn't learn shoneh. Okay, pehe amud bet, 85b. So Braita, right? Ktani shoneh. He says it's different. Halakashia, it's not a question. Kam ba'avodah, right? V'kan b'shen avodah. He comes and he says one of them is talking about that it was already avodah, and one of them is talking about that it was non avodah, which means it all depends whether it was already worked upon that field or not worked upon that field. So Mayavi Allah, what's the maskana? So Tashema, the Tanya we learned on right, ner chetzia v'zoreh chetzia, ner chetzia v'zoreh chetzia. What does that mean?
To leave it, I mean,
yeah, exactly, exactly. You're gonna do half, right? In the second, right, and the same thing. And the second year, the other way around, right? Fine. So I'm gonna be
plow and leave it for a year.
What does that mean? Years. So the Tashma just said the Tanya we already learned ner chetzia v'zoreh chetzia, ner chetzia v'zoreh chetzia. So you do half. Fine. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says, "Em mevin et haomer ela min hasadot hamudramosh be'eretz Yisrael shebehen choma v'zorach ve'mehem chama shokat." So he says you're going to bring it from the south, right? Now remember, right? Because we said, right, that it was going to be that you're bringing the korban omer from the ones from the south because that's where the sun was. Remember, this was in the winter time. So since it was the winter time, so we wanted that there should be that the sun is going to be coming up and coming down in that area.
But it's like 5 minutes.
What do you mean behind 5 minutes?
5 minutes. It's small. Not like you're talking like New York.
So Tanya Yidach, Tanya Melech, we also learned this. Right, Abba Shaul Omer, Abba Shaul says, Omer hayaba mibikat bet mikle, kebat shalosh sayin hayta. It was like a 3 seam, ושדה מודרמת הייתה ובה חמה זורחת ממנה חמה שוקעת, נר חציה וזרע חציה, נר חציה וזרע חציה. עכשיו חילקה בטוביה ולקרנה דערה. He had a piece of land which was in the Keren Zavit. So what did he do? He did the same thing. נר חציה וזרע חציה, נר חציה וזרע חציה, ועברה על חד תרי. Now it did double than the normal. And he sold it as like mamash like the fine flour, meaning that obviously he did like an incredible amount when he did this. So this is agriculture. Yeah, we're teaching you guys how to become farmers. Yeah, okay, fine. Next, 2 dots. Okay, vimitzlia. What happens now if it started getting tolaim? So psula, it's going to become pasul. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita, solid tlia ruba psula. When you have a solid that started getting a whole bunch of tolaim, right, that's it. It becomes pasul. V'chitin shitru rubam psulot. So by Rabbi Yirmiyah comes and it says berov chita or berov seah. We're talking about rov in the chita or the rov of the seah, meaning in the grains, or you're talking about an actual seah. The remuja. So we don't have an answer. Meaning we don't know if we're talking about the garinim or we're talking about the actual flour. We're not sure. We're not sure. Teku. So by Rava. No, basically, if a person has, it actually happened many times. Somebody calls you up, he tells you, listen, I've got, how do you call flour, and I found 1 tolad. He says, okay, fine. If it was only one, I found 2, 3. Once you found 3, that's it. It's a big problem. Yeah. So he says over here like this. So Tznan we learned over there. Kol etz. Sorry, I skipped something. No, v'mitlia pasula. So Taran Rabbanan. So we had a teku. By Rava. Rava comes and he asks the question. There we are. By Rava. Higdishan. What happens right now if you consecrated chitim, right, that has tolaim for mincha? Ma'u shilkeh alehen mishum balmum. Are you going to get lashes because it's kilu? You brought a balmum to the korban. So it's given the pasul Kebalmum lamis, it's like a balmum. Or dilmar, maybe en balmum el bebema. Maybe the balmum only applies to an animal. Meaning like this, we know that you cannot bring a blemished animal to the mizbeach. What about a blemished flower?
Okay.
Why? But it's got tolaim, so it's like blemished. Do we say that it also is like a balmum, or do we say no? Balmum only applies to an animal. So if you now bring this, you get lashes, just like you brought a balmum. Teiku, we don't have an answer. Yeah, Tananata, we learned also over there, kol et shenintzah bo tolah pasul gabel mizbeach. Any etz which is found in tolah is going to be pasul for the mizbeach. So Amar Shmuel comes and he says, lo shanu elalach. That's only going to be if it's going to be moist. Aval yavesh, but if it's going to be dry, gorero v'kasher. You're going to come and you're going to how do you call it? Scrape it off, and it's going to be kosher. So by Rabba comes and he says, if you consecrated it, ma'u shil kala mishum balmum. Do you get lashes because of balmum? Given the pasul balmum, since it's pasul, it's like a balmum. Right? Or Dilmar, maybe there's no balmum only in animals. Again, the same answer. Take, we don't have an answer. So in all these cases, we don't have an answer. Fine. Mishnah on Peheh Amud Bet. Yeah, another take. Both of them. We finish again with the take. So next, Tekoa Alfa. It says here Tekoa is a city in the land of Israel.
Still.
Yeah, till today. Where? In the north.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is. It doesn't say it. It says here it's brought down in Shemuel Bet and Amos. Tekoa. I don't know where it is. Whether it's in the north. Yeah, the north. Okay. So tekoa, right? It says alfa leshemen is the best to do with oil. Meaning, if you want to bring oil, good oil, get it from tekoa. Israeli community settlement in the West Bank, established in 1975, located about 16 kilometers south of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So it's south of Jerusalem. Okay. Fine. Thank you. Chazak Baruch. Yeah. So he says, Abba Shaul Omer, Shniyala, the second one is Regev be'ever Yarden. Regev in the across the Jordan River. Kolat aratzot hayu ksherot. Now, technically speaking, you could bring oil from anywhere. But mikan hayu meviim. But they used to bring it from here because obviously it was the best. So basically, he's just telling you where's the best coming from. Okay? Fine. En meviim lo mi bet hazvalim velo mi bet hashlachim velo min ma shenizra benehem. Now, you're not going to bring oil from a place where the says zait are growing in a sadeh that needs a lot of fertilizer, or from a place which needs a lot of irrigation. Or in between, right? If you do bring it, it's going to be kasher b'diavad. And mevin anpikanon. You're not going to bring oil of ampikanon. What is this? There you go. Unripe olives. Okay, the Gemara is going to explain it, but yes, unripe olives. If you do bring it, it's going to be pasul. And mevi'in. So here it's pasul. It's not kasher b'diavad. It's pasul b'diavad. And mevi'in megargadin shelishu b'mayim. Also, you're not going to come if you put the pits of the olives in like water and you soak it there. You're also not going to bring that. We're not from olives which were pickled or cooked. Look like excessive cooking. If you bring olives oil from this, it's going to be all pasul in these cases. Fine. Says the Gemara. Vayishlach Yoav tekoa. Vayikach misham isha hahama. So Yoav comes and he sent to Tekoa and he took a woman that she was a chachama. Maishna tekoa. Why from Tekoa? Since they are always eating shemen zayit, chokhma metzuya. They're very chachamim. Remember, shemen zayit makes you remember your learning. You remember? That's why. So therefore, they were always chachamim. So he wanted a chachama. He wanted a woman that she's very, very smart. So he took her from Tekoa. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the right of Tovel b'shemen raglo. It's a pasuk at the end of Devarim. Zechel kol shel asher. There's a sher. Why? Asher's property always had a lot of oil, just like springs. They once needed the oil, right? They went and they purged somebody that was in charge. Go bring us shemen for 100,000 manah. Halach l'Yerushalayim, he went to Yerushalayim. Amrulo, they went to say, Lech letzor, go to Tzor. Halach letzor, he went to Tzor. Amrulo told him, Lech legush chalav, go. Halach Amrulo, go etel Ploni sadeh alaz. Utzao, they found Shayahu zek tachat zetav, that he was, how do you call it, digging underneath his olives. Amarlo, they told him, the Shaliach, יש לך שמן ממאה ריבו שאני צריך, do you have שמן? אמר לו, he told him, המתן לי עד שיסיים מלאכתי, let me finish. המתין, he finished, לך שיסיים מלאכתו, הבשיל כליו לאחוריו, והסתכל בא בדרך, he was going. אמר לו, יש לך שמן ממאה ריבו, כי מדומה, אני ששחוק סקו בידי. He says, what, the Jews are making a joke out of me? כיוון שהגיע לעירו, once he got to the city, הוציאה לו שפחתו קומקומים של חמים, ולחץ, he went, he washed his hands and everything, הוציאה לו זו של זהב מלא שמן, he brought a whole bunch of שמן, וטבל בו ידיו ורגליו, and he did לקיים מה שנאמר, וטובל בשמן רגלו. They were using the oil for their feet, ממש like it was a Yeah. לאחר שאכלו ושתו after they ate and drank, מדד לו שמן במאה ריבו, אמר לו, כלום אתה צריך יותר, do you need any more? אמר לו, he says, הן, yes, אלא שאין לי ידומים, I do need, but I don't have any more money. אמר לו, he says, אם אתה רוצה לקח, לקח, ואני אלך עמך ואתן דמיו, he says, take, and I'll come with you and I'll get the money. מדד לו שמן ב18 ריבו. He gave him an extra 18, 18, right, 180,000, right, 18 ריבו. ואמרו לו, הניח אותו האיש, לא סוס לו פלא לגמל ולא חבר את ישראל שלא שכה. He had so much oil, he had to rent out any type of. Imagine right now you're renting out all the horses and all the donkeys, everything to bring all the oil over there. Kevin Shigia Lido, once he got to the city, so they went there. Amrul Lahem, lo lika, don't come and praise me. It's the other guy. He's got he lent us an extra 18 ribo. Yeah. He says there's some people that they're going to be, he's showing himself that he's rich, right? And he says ve'en kol mitroshesh. And then you have somebody that he's right? Sorry. Yesh mitasher ve'en kol. Somebody shows himself that he's rich and he's got nothing. Mitroshesh, somebody shows himself that he's poor, ve'hon rav, and he's got a lot of money. Right, we have a lot of people like that. Mamash, you got people that you look at them, you think they're millionaires, and then you come and you realize they've got nothing to their name. And then you've got the other way around. You got people that they look like poor people. You would give them money, like on the street, and they're multi millionaires. You understand? Fine, we'll stop here, but it's not a shame.